Hi everyone, Aaron here for Zollotech and watchOS 10 released to developers, and this is one of the biggest updates we've seen in a very long time. This particular update supports the Series 4 Apple Watch all the way up to the Apple Watch Ultra, and is a pretty big overhaul of watchOS in general. Now this came in at 1.1 gigabytes on the Apple Watch Ultra, and it was a pretty quick install. And this update has a lot of new features and changes. Now first, let's go ahead and take a look at the build number. So we'll go down to Settings, and you'll see so far it doesn't look too different here. So if we go to Settings, then we go to General, then About, you can see the build number here as 21R5275T. This particular update, you'll see already there's some changes here in the menu, brings a lot of changes and an overhauled interface to watchOS 10. The first thing is, you'll see this is my typical watch face. If I scroll up using the digital crown, we now have smart stacks here. So not only does it give the time, and you can just leave it on this display, but not only does it give the time, you have different smart stacks with your weather, your calendar, you have your activity, and also your news. So those things are brought into smart stacks. If you press and hold, you can add another one, or you can delete some. So you've got different things as far as music. You also have all of your different apps that you can be supported within those smart stacks. So if you want something different there, you can add all of these to it. Now also, the control center is brought up a different way. And yes, you can scroll up from the bottom, but it typically brings up this smart stack. So what you want to do is press the button on the side, and it will bring up the control center with your battery, Wi-Fi connections, and more. So you'll see here that it has all of the different typical control center things there, and you can bring this up when you're in any app. So if I go into music, give it a second there, press the button, and it comes up with the control center. Now they've revamped just about every single app within watchOS 10. So you can see here, here's music, and I have the other watch here so we can compare side by side. watchOS 9 versus watchOS 10. If we go into music, you'll see this is what it looks like. So as we scroll down, we have our different music here. If we go into this one, the now playing screen looks a little bit different. So if we go into, I'll just pick this one here, and the overall screen looks different here. So that gives you an idea of what it looks like. We'll hit play, and it is a little bit buggy. However, it seems to be pretty solid overall. So you'll see it says AirPlay iPhone, and then you have your now playing screen. So that's something that's really nice. If we go back out, and then maybe we go into the compass, this has been updated as well. And so it's giving our elevation, and there's an all-new view for this as well. So let's see if we can get that. There we go. We have an all-new hiking view with waypoints in sort of a 3D map view. And what this does is give us not only waypoints, but also a waypoint where we last had cellular connectivity. So that's something they've brought within the view of the compass, and it also gives us more information as far as trail information. There's new topographic maps, so if you want to go for a walk here, you could do that and retrace your steps. And then if we tap the eye here, of course, it will give our direction and more. And so that's sort of a new view overall within maps or within our compass, and if we scroll, you'll see it changes here as well. So that's something that they've updated. I think it's a nice update here. You'll see as we zoom in and out, it changes here as well. Now within this update, we'll go through some other apps in a moment, but we also have some new watch faces. If we scroll over, you'll see we have a new palette watch face, and it has a bunch of different colors. So you'll see as we scroll through, there we go. And like I said, it's a little bit buggy, but as we scroll through, you have different colors such as gray, cream, iris, emerald, azure, wisteria, and you can just go through all the different colors here, whichever one suits your taste. And then you can add more colors as well. So maybe we'll just pick this one, then we'll swipe over. We can add our complications around the outside edge and add whatever you'd like for your complications. The next one is Snoopy. They've brought this back as sort of a commemoration of the original Apple Watch, and you'll see we have some different options as far as styles here. So you can have the different numbers and nothing at all, whatever suits your taste. And again, different colors. And let's go down here, and that's pretty much it. No complications on this one, but just you'll see Peppermint Patty. We have them named after different characters. We have Beach Teal, Blanket Blue, Lucy Blue, Newspaper, and more. So lots of nice updates here with this watch face. I actually really like the palette watch face. I think it looks great. Now, if we go back out, we have a bunch of different app updates, like I said. If we go into Activity, Not everything gets a full overhaul, but there are a lot of updates. So if we go into activity here, you can see that's pretty much the same, but they've utilized some additional areas for more complications or additional updates. If we go down, we have alarms. You'll see there, again, it looks a little different. If we go into the App Store, give that a second to load, you'll see the loading screen was a little different. And this is taking a moment on both of them. We'll hit continue on the other watch. Again, it just has a different look to it overall. So not a huge update here, but a few changes with the App Store. You can see in the contact card, it looks a little bit different. And one other thing you can do is something called name drop that has to do with contacts. And one other thing with contacts is with watchOS 10 later on, you'll be able to touch the watch faces together to share a contact with one another. This is part of iOS 17 as well. So that's a nice way to share contacts. And you'll see here, it keeps resetting when I go back into the overall app drawer here. It resets to the top over and over. So that's actually a little bit annoying. So let's see if we go into a couple other apps. And within Maps, there's a default view that's changed as well. And what you'll see is we have the map on the right. With watchOS 9, it just sort of goes to a search screen. You also have the option for offline maps in the Map app as well that you can download on iOS 17 that will carry over to the watch itself. The main screen of messages looks a little different as well, where we have our favorites here on watchOS 10, where before we just had our view of all of our different texts. You can change it to that as well, but it defaults to sort of the favorites view now. And within Mindfulness, we have an update as well, where we have state of mind, where we can actually log our health as far as our mood and how we feel throughout the day. That's something new with iOS 17 that they've also brought to the watch, so you can log it right from here as well. So it's just a small update, but it is a little bit different. And again, it looks different in the app as well. To go along with help, Apple has added a new Vision Health section to the Health app. And this goes along with a family member or child's Apple Watch to help reduce myopia or nearsightedness. Typically, it starts in childhood, and what it does is encourage you to spend more time in daylight. So you can see the section about it here, the role of sunlight in your health, and it helps with eye health. And so what it does is encourage you to stay outside, and also uses the ambient light sensor to measure how long you've been in daylight. So this is something you can set up in your family settings in Apple Watch when your child's Apple Watch is updated to watchOS 10. So this is a nice feature that goes along with a screen distance indicator for maybe a child's device or your own device. And within screen time, you have screen distance to reduce eye strain. It will let you know when the device is too close. So it goes along with overall vision health that's been added for all the devices. If we go into noise, you'll see this looks a little bit different as well. It's completely redesigned. I think it looks much nicer this time around. You'll see news looks a little different also, so we can scroll through, and it's more of a full screen view, optimized more for a full screen of the watch. Instead of having top stories and more, we see what we care about. Within podcasts, it looks a little bit different as well. We have different views. And if we go back, of course, we've got our library, and of course, listen now with some nice new animations. And then we have our now playing screen that looks different, just like Apple Music also. Within timers, we have an update here, but it looks more like this on Apple Watch Ultra anyway. But you can see there's a slight update to timers. You'll see weather has an update also, where it's got a really nice look to it. It's full screen. As we scroll through with the digital crown, we have more information. So it just has a much nicer look to it overall. And I think it's really fitting the watch a little bit better this time around than what we previously had. Also, one thing I forgot was sleep. So sleep looks different as well, with more information that's easier to read. And even the world clock gets an update. We have nice animations with different views, and it just looks much nicer overall on Apple Watch. Now, we do get an additional workout update, and that has to do with cycling. So if you're using workouts, and this keeps resetting to the top, but if you're actually using workouts on your watch, they've updated cycling so that it now tracks more information. So you can pair it with Bluetooth accessories to give you more information about cadence, speed, and power. You also have power zones that have been added for cycling, and additionally, if you start a cycling workout on the watch, it should show as a live activity on the iPhone. So we'll hit continue, and it should send that information to the iPhone. I'm not sure if this is working yet, but let's see what we've got here. And I don't see it yet. So it may not be working just yet, but the cycling workout should work and give you information such as speed and more as far as that goes. Now, to go along with workouts, there's also some updates with Apple Fitness Plus. So if we go into our fitness app, go to Fitness Plus, give it a second to load, we now have custom plans. So we can customize a different plan, build your plan based on what you want to work out with, what time of day, what day, and just maybe do different things in a row. Cycling one day, meditation the next, Pilates the day after that, and you can just create this however you'd like, and that carries over to your watch. You can also stack those multiple workouts so you can see them here as well. In iOS 17, I showed when you place a FaceTime call, if the other person doesn't pick up, you'll have the option to actually leave a message for them. You can now view those not only on the iPhone, but also the Apple Watch as they come through. So I'm in Do Not Disturb now. Let's see if it works. And you'll see I missed a FaceTime call. You'll see here I can call back, message, or dismiss. Now, it's not showing the actual message that I sent yet, but maybe it will show in the future. I haven't gotten this to work properly across all devices, as it seems to be a little bit buggy with watchOS 10 and iOS 17, but it should work in the future. Now, additional to all the different things I've already shown, Apple has added MDM configuration profiles. So if you're in an enterprise environment, some different corporations can actually configure these as mobile device managed devices and also deploy internal apps to them and configure VPNs for their watch to connect to. So that's something with watchOS 10. Now, Apple will continue to release these betas and continue to update and refine this over time, and I think it's going to be pretty good as it's fairly fast so far. However, if you're wondering if you should install watchOS 10, I would highly recommend against it, as there's no way to revert back without bringing this to Apple. Also, battery life and different things such as bugs may actually be pretty bad. We don't know yet, as it's only been out for a day or so. So far, it seems to be okay. I'm down to 93% battery, and speed seems to be all right. You've seen things, different apps and things load on here, and they seem to be doing okay. But in general, I don't recommend betas, especially early ones. I would wait for the public beta. As far as iOS 17, the same thing holds true there. Wait for the public beta for that. Now, if you've found anything else in watchOS 10, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Of course, there's different animations, little changes all throughout, and I'll have a follow-up video with iOS 17 on the weekend with more features. If I find anything else in the watch, I'll be sure to share it there as well. If you'd like to get your hands on this wallpaper, this is actually from macOS Sonoma. I'll link it in the description below. And if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. And if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. As always, thanks for watching. This is Aaron. I'll see you next time.